John travelled back to the 80s, to the movies he fondly recalled, with Annie and Tom Cruise and Sly and Bruce Willis before he went bald. Back when the movies were simple and the plots had no deep commentary, just some hero with biceps and witty one-liners shooting all he could see.
Then off some steamed Bennett.
But I guess the grass is greener when you're wearing those rose-tinted shades. But while he's stuck in the 80s, John will take these movie lemons and give you lemonade. So sit back and relax and sit back wherever you are for the movie reviews and the science bits too. On Shitcase Cinema, on the Shitcase Cinema, oh it's the Shitcase Cinema.
Must kill your friend.
Okay, so what's this classic about? Some guy's trying to shoot a wild dog from a helicopter, but he keeps flying around in circles, so is it any wonder that he misses?
It's like trying to shoot from a goddamn merry-go-round!
Now, he complains endlessly, so he gets dropped off at his house. Now, it looks like he's probably going to take a piss in the river there, until good old Jack Palance walks in from the bushes and shoots him. So, he's our hitman. So we get glimpses, and I mean quick glimpses, into the other side of his life. When he's not a hitman, he sits around topless painting portraits of his wife and then racing around in flashy cars with some other random goon. So if seeing a man of advancing years walking around topless and driving around in a car is your cup of tea, dig in. Me? I'm just going to sit and watch this guy circle around and around in his helicopter for the next 10 minutes. Okay, so Jack is given some orders to wipe out a doctor. Now, you've got to understand, other than being a top-rated artist who draws in the crowds, he's also a top-rated hitman. So, seeing as his only mission is to kill one doctor in the entire film, how is it going to last more than 2 minutes? Because it's slower than watching the Godfather trilogy through from start to finish, and it feels as though you're actually watching it in reverse, not to mention the pointless and mystifying levels of shitness that the film sinks to. Now it turns out that this doctor is Jack's friend who once saved his life, so Jack goes to see a wise old Chinese man for some advice. At least it's not that disappearing, reappearing one from American Ninja. Tell me, old wise man, what should I do in such a predicament?
You must kill your friend or destroy yourself.
Any chance of a third option with those? They're a bit shit. How does one actually destroy themselves anyway? Stupid film. Oh, I know, like this. So he goes for another joyride, which funnily enough uses half of the same shots from earlier on. Talk about low budget filmmaking. And it turns out that this is the doctor that he's meant to kill. So he tells him the situation, blah blah blah, and some guy called Coco wants him dead. Coco? Makes me think of that goon from wrestling I used to watch as a kid who used to have a parrot on his shoulder. What was that all about? So while Jack is walking around, and I have no clue what he's actually doing, his friend and his wife have it off behind his back. Naughty naughty. But I'm sure that Jack will sort them out in the end. So Jack finds his Coco guy in his house and they try to bore us to death. So let's just move on and see if Jack can actually escape from the house now. The odds look pretty slim if you ask me, but he walks out scot-free. Wow, wasn't that exciting? In and out of there like the wind, just like Kurt Russell. So after more silly scenes where he pretends to be a doctor in the hospital, which is more random than Kurt Russell dressed as a woman, he gets into an alley fight where he kills a load of men, but it's so dark you can't see much, so that's a load of rubbish. Then he has an argument with his boss. I mean, I guess that's what he is, but it's hard to be sure of anything in this film unless you really concentrate and analyse every single second, but then you're likely to suffer a nervous fucking breakdown and have a brain drain, or even worse, a goddamn body melt. Oh god, that was awful. Body melt! Yeah, body melt. Moving on to another house to continue his Hitman tirade, and wow, what a great dive that was. That should win you an Olympic medal, mate. It's now time to run away, so he gets into a car, decides to swap it for an ambulance just so he can play the siren and run through the red lights. Probably. I mean, that's what I'd do. I don't really care about what the real reason is. Next we get a strange rerun of the entire film, which is painful to watch, and it sums the film up in pretty much 2 minutes, so why we've spent 80 minutes watching this complete abomination is beyond me when I could have just watched the 2-minute trailer here. Now they most likely added this and other clips to make the film clock in at a reasonable length. Very strange. So the ending is one of the greatest movie finales ever made, even better than Battlefield Earth and Death Race 2000 put together. Check this out. Jack, who has been shot, betrayed and probably buggered, goes along to the opening night of his painting exhibition, talks to his boss, talks to the grim Chinese man who says he should destroy himself, talks to his cheating wife, talks to the arsehole doctor, gets handed some nice looking glasses and is told that he can walk.
Max says you can walk.
Wow, nice of him to notice that fact. Then he goes back to painting the same portrait of his wife again. What? 3 out of 10. Now because that film was so mediocre and pathetic, I'm going to throw in another review for you. So this bonus review is a hidden gem called Blue Jean Cop. So why is it called Blue Jean Cop? Well, I thought it was basically because all the cops wore trendy blue jeans, and you know something? That's basically it. But let's jump to the ending because it's simply epic. If you thought Portrait of a Hitman was stunning, this ending will blow your socks off. This guy climbs onto a plane, a bit like most heroes do in action movies, sits on the wheel whilst enjoying the blue screen view on offer, and he shoots out the engines, which reminds me of an anime movie. Ah yes, Commando. Yeah. And the plane blows up. Wow! So boring and crap that it's not worth saying any more on it. Now I'm going back to watch some circling helicopters.